About a year ago, I was with my good buddy Tyler here, and we did a challenge where we basically rode every single operating roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain in a singular day. And that video since blew up to be one of my biggest on the channel for no reason at all.
Yes, sir. It was great. It was fun.
Very dead.
Yes. Very dead.
And a year later, we are here at Knott's Berry Farm doing the exact same thing. So what are we dealing with today? We got 9 coasters to get on. Not nearly as bad as, what, the 18 or 17 we had to deal with? I think it was 17 at Magic Mountain.
Yeah, that was a lot.
They do have a 10th coaster here, Montezuma's Revenge. It's been standing but not operating for years, and actually they're trying to renovate it into Montezuma Temple of the Forbidden Fortress. I was planning on postponing this video challenge until that reopened, but at this point, it's been postponed so many times that I just feel like it's never gonna open, so.
Yeah, this video would have never been made, just like Montezuma and the Forbidden Fortress, so
yeah, it should be a fun time. It's a weekday, very dead. It's gonna be easy. We should be able to get through this quick.
I've never seen the parking lot this empty. I'm here like every week. This is gonna be awesome.
Love this entrance to Knott's. Opened in 1940, very historic park. A lot of theming in here. And we're starting out with Accelerator. This is my number 2 in the park. Spoiler alert for the rankings, but that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise for those of you who are familiar with the lineup here at Knott's. This is a fantastic launch coaster. It's actually one of the quickest accelerations we have here in the States. Opened in 2002, and I love coming here straight away, right as the park opens, because no one thinks to come to the back of the park first. Therefore, the line is short for a long time. You get a lot of laps in, and that could be very important when this line does get long later on in the day. Of course, we're not too worried about crowds today, but just in case. Oh! Oh! Average right up at Knott's. Oh, I love that sound. Music to my ears. Knocked out Accelerator early. Obviously, it's the default 1 right now, but it's still gonna rank pretty high by the end of all this.
That ride's nuts. I mean, to be totally fair, I think given everything we've done today, which is literally only this ride, I feel like you gotta put it at number 4. No, this is number 1 so far. It's gonna be really hard to dethrone this ride. It's really, really good. The launch is insane. I mean, it's one of the last few hydraulic launches out there, and I hope they never change this thing because it just makes this ride special, especially now with Kingdom Cause closure. No, it is an absolutely spectacular ride. Obviously, lots of rumors surrounding this being on the chopping block in the next couple of years, and while I think it's actually pretty probable that that does happen, God, I hope it doesn't, because I absolutely love Accelerator. And up next, let's try Coast Rider. This is a Mock Rides Wild Mouse. It opened in 2013. There was an accident on this a long time ago, and they had to swap out the restraints, and it has these awful shin guards now. So a lot of people think this is one of the worst Wild Mice coasters in the world. I would have to say that this ride is definitely not one of my favorites, but compared to Accelerator, I think this is going to easily be number 1.
Oh! Whoa! All right, we got a big drop. This is the one good part. Whoa! Pretty fun on that drop, actually. Oh, it's so slow, though. It's very trimmed today. Wow.
Always very trimmed.
Is it always like this? I haven't done this in years. Oh,
that was a bad one.
That was not nice. I did not like that. -1 Aura points. Oh, wow. Over the water, that's kind of cool. Whoa. Yeah, it's not great, is it really?
No, it doesn't really do anything.
We've both done several Wild Mice with this exact layout. I think there's actually an identical ride at Legoland California like an hour away, is that right? You kind of know what to expect going in. This one just has the restraints, which really does diminish the quality of the ride. So much so that it's not even really a good coaster in my opinion. Most Wild Mice are at least fun to an extent.
I mean, I can't even joke about it after riding that. That's definitely worse than Accelerator. I feel like there's no argument there. Yeah, the one at Legoland I think is actually enjoyable because, well, it doesn't trim like this bad and the restraints are not horrible. These restraints are absolutely horrible. That being said though, I do think it's a bit overhated. I feel like people dog on this ride a little more than they should. It's not good. but it's also not like the worst ride in the world.
I would agree with that. It just bothers me a little bit because a very simple change could get that from a bad ride to a decent one. And let's get a ride on Hang Time, open in 2018, Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster with the steepest drop, I believe, in the state of California right here. This was the last major coaster Knott's Berry Farm added, but it makes you think, when are they gonna add another ground up major coaster to the park? I wonder how long it's gonna take. You've gotta love that straight up vertical lift hill. It's so freaky every time. Oh, look at that view. That is nice. Woo! Oh, 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 oh! Whoa! Woo! Oh! Oh! The rare instance of Hang Time on Hang Time. Whoa! Best part of the ride coming up. Whoa! Wow. Woo! Hang Time is a fun coaster. It is flawed, we'll get to that, but to start, it has some great inversions. It doesn't have that much hang time though. I just think that's a little odd for a coaster literally named Hang Time, but I get the surfer dude theme. It's also not the smoothest. It does vibrate a little bit, which is peculiar for Gerstlauer Infinity. Most of the ones I've been on are very smooth, especially over in Europe. The few airtime moments are amazing. That's the one thing about this ride I love. And it does have a nice compact footprint. It was a good fit for the park. I'm glad they added this in.
I really like Hang Time. I agree it doesn't have any hang time, but I don't really mind that. The airtime is shockingly good, especially on that beyond vertical drop in the back row. You just go flying. The rest of the layout is okay. The inversions are fun. I think it's a solid coaster.
Yeah, so should go without saying, #2 in the park so far. And we've arrived at Pony Express, which is a motorbike coaster from Zamperla that opened in 2008. It's often overshadowed in this park because it is an extremely comically short coaster, but it is a fun ride and it's smooth. Giddy up. Whoa! There's a coaster I think is a little underrated. Like it's fun, it doesn't do that much, but it has a nice launch, it's smooth, layout is just unbelievably short, and that's easily the biggest criticism with Pony Express. But I also like the straddle seating setup. It's not the most comfortable, but it definitely adds a flair of uniqueness to the ride, which I like. So overall, I think it's fun, and it really doesn't get talked about ever. So for that reason, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll slide it into 3 though. It's obviously better than Coast Rider in my opinion, but doesn't hold a candle to rides bigger like Hang Time or Accelerator.
Contrary to Mark's assessment, I think this attraction sucks. I really don't like it. It's one of my least favorite coasters in the world. Easily the worst in the park. It suffocates me. I've never had a comfortable ride on this. I think this ride is just horrible. It's horrible. They could tear it out, replace it with like a bathroom, and I think that'd be a better addition.
So you like Coast Rider more?
Yes, easily. It's not even close. Like, I'm not even kidding. That ride's terrible.
And we have entered Ghost Town because we're about to get on the legendary Ghost Rider, a wooden roller coaster from Custom Coasters International that opened in 1998. This is a spectacular ride. It's unbelievably long. It's packed with airtime. It has a nice blend with laterals too. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. This ride is notorious for its slow operations. This line can get unbelievably long, but on a day like this, it's not something you need to worry about because there is no one here at Ghost Rider today. Oh, I love that sound. Beautiful. Incredible amount of room. That was incredible. Oh my god.
Such a good coaster.
That was absolutely incredible. That coaster is almost a 10 out of 10 Woody for me. It is absolutely fantastic. The pacing of that is just bar none from start to finish. The laterals, airtime, it has a great blend of like every type of force you want from a Woody. Oh my god, it's incredible. It runs so smooth too. The way you weave in and out of the structure in the second half, that's an easy #1 coaster in the park for me. I absolutely prefer it to Accelerator.
I agree. I completely agree. Everyone talks about how good this ride is in the back row, but don't sleep on the front because
that ride was so good.
The airtime is just unbelievable all over the train. You really can't go wrong with this ride at all.
And the teenagers are entering the kids area. What's new? And that's because they have a kick-ass family coaster in this area called Sierra Sidewinder. This opened in 2007. It's a mock ride spinning coaster. Last time I did this layout was actually in the UK at Paulton's Park. So this is going to be kind of unusual getting back on this.
Oh my god!
Whoa! Oh! Wow! Oh my god! Woo! Woo! Oh my! That's actually very good. I've always said this ride has no business being as good as it is, and I stand by it after that ride. It wasn't even an off-balance ride, but if you can get an off-balance ride, you definitely should, because that spins like crazy and it makes that experience incredible. That ride still, just an ordinary ride, was still fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Sierra Sidewinder is a real hidden gem. That goes right under hang time at 4th for me.
I agree. I put it under hang time as well. 4th place in the park. It is pretty solid. Like Mark said, we didn't really get too much spinning on that one, but it's okay. Even without a whole bunch of spinning, it's still a really good ride, and I would love to ride it again. Honestly, let's just, you know, I'm just gonna go with it.
This ride just does not have business being in a kids area. It's way too intense, but I love it for that. And yes, we did say every coaster in the park. So Snoopy's Tender Paw Twister is up next. Actually, their newest coaster. That guy was just judging the hell out of me for riding a kiddie coaster. I get it, especially when you already have the credit, but this opened in 2024. It's a Zamperla Launch Lift kiddie coaster. At least it's something a bit more dynamic than your traditional kids coaster. It is actually a decently fun ride. And of course, we appreciate that you don't need a kid to ride it, so this challenge is possible. Oh wow. Oh wow. Incredible. It is fun though. Oh, a little launch. Whoa. There he is way up front. Oh.
Alright guys, one more time.
Oh! Back row for maximum airtime shore. An operating Zamperla launch from 2024. Fun little ride. It is much better than your average kiddie coaster, but it is still a kiddie coaster, so I unfortunately have to place it at the bottom beneath Coast Rider. Objectively, it's a higher quality ride than Coast Rider and maybe even Pony Express. I actually think the presentation and theming around it is fantastic, but it's just not going to cater to my audience, unfortunately.
Yeah, like Mark said, it doesn't really cater to my audience. However, I still have to put it above Pony Express because that ride sucks. And this ride doesn't suck. So I would put it right above Pony Express, but right under Coast Rider. I think that Coast Rider is a little better, but Pony Express, man, that ride, I'm just gonna use this video as a platform to hate on Pony Express. That ride sucks.
Here's your update on Montezuma Temple of the Forbidden Fortress. Back there, you see that white tarp, that's where the back spike was, and then here, this is a more new green tarp, and I believe that one's actually quite a bit higher than the other tarp as well. So hopefully that is a good sign that progress is commencing. And let's go ahead and get a ride on Jaguar up next. 1995 Zero Tivoli coaster, custom layout, goes through the temple. It used to go through Montezuma's Revenge's loop. Hopefully they bring that back. This is one I never bothered to wait for, but it's walk on today, so why not? All right, we're on Jaguar. I figured we'd get in the front row. It's a very long ride, so let's see what you got, Jaguar. Oh! Through the temple. Theming is cool. There's where the loop used to be of Montezuma. Whoa! And you got your second lift hill on this one. Like I said, it is long. It's not even a drop, it's a ramp, guys. I feel like people don't talk enough about how unbelievably weird that is, because there is not one element on that is shaped conventionally. It is all wonky, it feels awkward, but it's not too bad. Like, it's fine, it just meanders a bunch. It doesn't really do anything.
It's not a bad coaster at all, but it's also not great. If you look at it more like a fast monorail, it's actually pretty solid. But as a coaster, I mean, it's fine. It's unique. I don't know. There's not really much to say about it. What I will say, though, is that it's better than Pony Express. I think I would put it right over Coast Rider in my ranking. That's where it goes. One spot over Coast Rider.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree. I have Pony Express above this. Actually, one thing that I'll say about this that I really am not a fan of is I think it actually ruins a lot of the sightlines in this park. It's a very ugly looking coaster. The way that the track is just high up in the air, it ruins the aesthetic of the park a lot of the time. It's also just unbelievably loud, so you can be walking around a nice quaint section of the park and then bam, your ears are being erupted by noise. So overall, it's a fine ride. I don't really like the look of it at all, if that's a factor for you. So yeah, it is what it is. I think worse than Pony Express, better than Coast Rider. It's pretty much where I sit with it. And lastly for us is Silver Bullet, a Bollyard Mabbyard inverted coaster from 2004. Really cool location over the water here, and I just like how it sprawls all throughout the park. It's like the first thing you see when you get here because it just goes right over the entrance. It's a very iconic ride. How it runs, it could be iffy, it depends on the day, but it's still a fun coaster. I'm glad we're ending on a banger. Rounding the corner on Silver Bullet, last coaster of the day. All right.
Way better.
Whoa! Woohoo! Oh! Whoa! Wow! Oh my gosh. That's another coaster I think is very fun, but flawed. It just doesn't have the whip I'm looking for. It is a forceful coaster, but it doesn't kind of throw you around like a lot of the other B&M inverted coasters do. I still like it. I think it has a fun layout. I think it's nice, the setting of it. But yeah, like I said, it is flawed. Ooh, I always have a hard time deciding between this and Sierra Sidewinder. And if we're judging by our rides today, I might actually give it to this. But in general, I find I do prefer Sierra Sidewinder usually over Silver Bullet. So I'll go ahead and slide Silver Bullet down beneath Sierra Sidewinder at number 5.
I completely agree with Mark on this one. Just barely. Sierra Sidewinder's a little bit better. This is not a bad coaster at all. I'm a believer that there's no such thing as a bad invert unless you're in Old Tacoma, then that's a little different. But there's no bad B&M inverts, and this one's definitely a really fun ride. I think that Sierra is just a little better though.
So our lists were almost exactly the same. You just hate Pony Express.
I really hate Pony Express, you guys. That ride is so bad.
So that's your moral of the video. That's crazy, bro. But yeah, that was a much easier list than the Magic Mountain one, wasn't it? That was not hard.
I think it was arguably a little harder than our SeaWorld one though.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.